Today, I will be using a full team of Pokemon based on Pride flags. If you have an idea for a Pokemon team, be sure to comment below, and I will use it. And if you like this kind of content, feel free to subscribe. Now let's get right into the battles. Good morning, afternoon, and evening, lovely people. Today I am using the 12th Pride Flag team, which is very exciting because now we are at 72 Pride Flags, getting very, very close to the 3/4 mark and closer to the 100 main milestone. Now, if you want to keep this series going, as always, if this video gets 25 likes, I will do the 13th Pride Flag team. We're getting very, very close to 100. So, I'm leading things off here with my Alolan Muck, my shiny Alolan Muck, which is Choice Banded. I was able to 2-hit KO the Iron Hands, and now the Garganacl comes in. So, obviously, I have to switch. So, I'm going to switch into my Trevenant here. Special thank you to Inanimate Insane Candle for the apothosexual flag suggestion. This is like sex repulsion, or being like repulsed or disgusted by the idea of sex. It's under the asexual umbrella. So this is a special Trevenant. I'm running a Calm Mindset on this. I have a Harvest and Custard Berry as well. The Garganacl goes for the Iron Defense, definitely thinking that I was going to be like a physical set with like Horn Leech, but I'm running a Calm Mind Sweeping Trevenant. I have Energy Ball, Shadow Ball, and Terrifier Burning Jealousy, which is very interesting. So I'm going to go for another Energy Ball, and I'm going to take out the Garganacl, which is very nice because obviously Garganacl is a very, very bulky, defensive, salt-curing Pokemon. So I'm going to take some more Salt Cure Chip, and in comes the Cerulege, which is it's so threatening into my team. I basically had like no switches into it, so I'm going to get taken out there by the Shadow Claw from the Cerulege. So this turn I thought, well, I do have my Alolan Muck, but I imagine that this Cerulege is going to be Focus Sash with like weak armor potentially. So they're going to set up the Swords Dance. I'm Choice Banded on this. This is my Alolan Muck here for Finn gender, which is an umbrella term for all genders that are feminine in nature. So they're going to go for that Bitter Blade at +2 attack. I did take them down to their Sash, but yeah, I'm not going to be able to take that one, unfortunately. And that's going to be the end of my Alolan Muck. But I did weaken it for my Ace Spec flag in the back. This Pokemon is like perfect. Take a ton. So this is the Ace Spec flag, and I have Choice Specs on this. This is a Choice Specs Take a ton. So I have Terra Ground on this with Terra Blast. It was basically like the best answer that I had because this Pokemon was really threatening into my team. I'm very weak to fire on this team, so I had to go for the Choice Specs Terra Blast Ground, and thankfully that is going to be enough to take out the Cerulege. That was a very, very scary Pokemon, and honestly, they didn't have weak armor either, which I was very surprised about, so they were a Flash Fire Cerulege. So the Toedscool comes in. I'm thinking that this is probably going to be a very specially defensive Pokemon, and yeah, they're going to go for the Spore here. Now, I have a regular Alolan Muck for the Min Gender flag. So I have both Alolan Muck and Shiny Alolan Muck for Min Gender and Fin Gender because I thought that their colors matched the flags to the best of their ability anyway. And, you know, Alolan Muck has a blue mouth, and there's blue on the Min Gender flag, which I thought was pretty great. So I'm going to speed up this part of the battle because this is obviously a stalling Toedscool with like Spore and Leech Seed, but thankfully they don't have Earth Power. But I'm running a very bulky Alolan Muck on my set. So this is a Gluttony Alolan Muck with the Iapapa Berry, and I have Gluttony on this, so obviously I can restore more of my HP when I'm at like half health. Because Iapapa Berry normally only works at 25% of your health, but with Gluttony, I'm able to eat that when I'm less than half of my HP. And I have Recycle on this set to recycle my my berry, and I have Flamethrower as well. So I wanted to get the Toedscool in range after the toxic damage, and I wanted to not switch in my Venomoth here on a Spore. So thankfully they do go for the Giga Drain. They were actually recovering a lot of HP with the Leech Seed that they put on me as well. So this is a Quiver Dance sweeping Venomoth here for the Fem flag. I'm going to go for that Bug Buzz, and that is going to be enough to take out the Toedscool. Thank goodness. Otherwise I was definitely going to get put to sleep potentially. I don't know if they would have broken Sleep Claws. So the Golden Go is going to swap in. I don't really have much to hit that. I'm Bug Buzz, I'm Psychic, and I'm Sludge Wave. So like I can't really hit this Golden Go. And they're going to obviously set up the Nasty Plot. So now they're going to Terrasilize their Golden Go. I have Flamethrower as my only attacking move. That's mainly to hit steel types. And I'm running Recycle and Toxic on this set as well. And I have Haze to eliminate stat changes, which I went for on this turn. But I'm unfortunately not going to be able to tank the Make It Rain from this thing, even though I'm max special defense on this. So swapping back in my A-Spec flag, I really want to hit this with the Choice Spec Steel Beam. Look at this. I'm firing out of my hammer. It looks crazy. I don't take it out, unfortunately, but I do some massive damage, which is like perfect for my endgame Pokemon, which I'm about to bring in. So obviously they're gonna take me out with the Make It Rain after the Steel Beam recoil damage. But Choice Spec's Ticket Time is really fun. So now I'm gonna bring in the Butch flag. Obviously I have Butch and Femme flags on this team. And I thought it was really interesting to put some lesbian moths onto this team because I know that there's a lot of lesbians that love moths and butterflies. I am basing that statistic on... I almost said statistic, by the way. I'm basing that statistic, by the way, on myself and my IRL friend that loves moths. So this is a Pressure King Gambit. Oh my gosh. But I do have close combat. I was obviously expecting this Pokemon to be last in the back, but I went for the close combat to take it out. And that's the end of that first game. That was actually a very interesting Slitherwing set. It was like booster speed, but I still had like a physical set. So I had to like reduce my attack investment in order to get the booster energy and speed. So on to this second game. This second game is pretty interesting as well. So turn 1, a Great Tusk terrestrializes immediately. I'm like, oh my goodness. They probably expect me to go for some kind of fairy move, but I'm just going to go for that Choice Spec Steel Beam. Depending on their investment, it actually might take it out, but it actually takes it very, very well. So I'm thinking that it might be like an Assault Vested Great Tusk, but maybe it's like a more offensive Assault Vest set, like max speed and max attack. That's going to come into play later. So I'm going to get taken out, obviously, with the the Terra Ground Headlong Rush. That is going to absolutely wallop me. So I'm going to bring in my my Venomoth here. I'm going to go for the Bug Buzz, but Chandelure comes in. And even though I'm Tinted Lens, it doesn't really do too much to the Chandelure. So I'm going to swap into my specially defensive Muck here. I should be able to tank whatever hit this Chandelure goes for. It's actually a Flame Charging Chandelure with like speed boosting, obviously, because Chandelure doesn't have the best speed. So I'm like, okay, that is a big threat. So they're going to bring in the Galarian Weezing on my Toxic. I was like, that's fair. Really, I wanted to threaten the Chandelure. It also covers like a dark type move that I go for since it's a fairy type. So I'm going to swap back in my Venomoth, and they actually make a really good play going for Heat Wave. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's going to do so much damage to me. But I'm going to go for the Psychic, do as much damage as I possibly can to the Weezing. Does some great damage. Obviously, Weezing has like a lot of physical defense, but not the best like special defense. So I'm going to get taken out by another Heat Wave, but Venomoth did a really good job tipping this Weezing. So bring in my Choice Band Alola Muck here. I'm actually running max speed on this Muck, which is crazy. But I wanted to, but I went for the Gunk Shot to take out the Galarian Weezing. So that's nice. I haven't done narration in so long, by the way. It's been like, I've had such a hectic week that I haven't had time to like edit or like record battles or do anything. So if my narration sounds a little rusty, that's why. But I should be getting back into the groove of things after this upload, thankfully. So the Headlong Rush is going to come out. I am able to tank that, but at this point, I was like, well, it's going to be rough whether or not that actually 2-hit kills me. But I'm thinking that that is for sure like offensive Great Tusk, right? Like, so I'm going to go for the Acrobatics. This is a bulk up Slitherwing with Acrobatics. I also have close combat as well. And I have booster speed, as I mentioned. I'm running max health and max speed on this. It's pretty interesting. So Yanmega comes in. I'm definitely thinking that they're going to be like Air Slash or like the speed boosting set, or maybe they're Tinted Lens. I wasn't sure, but they are speed boosts as they try to go for the Detect that turn. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to be able to take whatever hit this Yanmega goes for. It still does some pretty decent damage, and they are going to be like the Throat Spray Yanmega as well. So I thought, well, I do have Flamethrower on this set, which is a pretty good offensive move, even though Alola Muck doesn't have like the best special attack. It's definitely known for its physical attack. I wanted to have Mid-Gender and Fin-Gender be like completely like separate and like different roles. One's defensive, one's offensive, right? So I'm gonna eat my Papa Berry, and I'm gonna be able to 2-hit KO the Yanmega with the Flamethrower. It did exactly like half actually, so I was happy I was able to get rid of the Yanmega. Now this was a very interesting point of the battle. So Dusknoir comes in. I was like, okay, well, obviously Dusknoir is known to be a very, very bulky Pokemon. It might go for the Will-O-Wisp and stuff like that. So I'm going to go for the Toxic on it. I'm going to get that bad poison on it. But to go for the Substitute, I was like, that's actually extremely ideal because now they're behind the substitute. They took like a quarter of their health and damage, and now they're put on a timer from the toxic. I wasn't sure if this Dusknoir had pain split or not, but I was interested in seeing what their set was. So they're gonna go for the Focus Punch. This is a Focus Punch Dusknoir. That's so cool. I'm gonna go for the recycle. Obviously, since I ate my INAPPROPRIATE berry, I want to be able to recycle that back. So they're gonna go for the Focus Punch. I'm imagining this is like an offensive Dusknoir. Oh my goodness, I take so much damage from that. So this turn I was like, well, they're a Focus Punch Dusknoir, right? I have an easy switch in into my Trevenant, obviously because I'm a Ghost type, but I don't really want to swap it in because their last Pokemon are all physical. So, you know, I don't really want... I'm fine with sacrificing my Muck here as long as I get a free switch in into one of my other Pokemon in the back. So I'm just going to stay in and go for the Flamethrower. They don't actually go for the Focus Punch this turn. And as I damage the substitute, they go for the Poltergeist. They anticipated my my Trevenant to swap in. So I was like, yeah, like I said, I hope I explained my reason that's justified why I stayed in this turn, because obviously I didn't find that much value into my Alolan Muck anymore. It was just always going to get O-code by Great Tusk's Headlong Rush Terra Ground, and the last Pokemon was Rillaboom, and although I could get a Toxic on that, I wasn't imagining that I would like do very much to that Pokemon anyway. Even though I could resist its Grassy Glides, I'm not physically defensive, I'm specially defensive. So I break the substitute, but I'm gonna get absolutely blown away by that Focus Punch. That was a cool set though. So there goes my Alolan Muck, but I do still have my Choice Banded Muck in the back. I also have my Slitherwing, and I do have my Special Trevenant, which I thought, well, I should bring in my Special Trevenant right now, and I should go for the Shadow Ball. I should be able to outspeed this since I have a higher natural base speed than Dusknoir, and I'm going to be able to take it out thanks to the toxic damage that I got on this thing. So there goes the Dusknoir. Now, the last Pokemon is the Rillaboom. Their other Pokemon is Great Tusk, which is on like a quarter of their HP. And I'm thinking that it's Assault Vested, and my win condition in this game was to hopefully bait it into going for Headlong Rushes and getting defense drops so that I could go for the Choice Banded Shadow Sneak on my Alolan Muck Fingender in the back in order to take out the Great Tusk. So I say that because I terrestrialized my Trevenant this turn, anticipating this Rillaboom to be like a setup set with like Bulk Up or Sword Stance because they had Grassy Seed, and they do go for the Bulk Up. So Burning Jealousy is going to hit this thing, and it's also going to burn the Rillaboom as well. So I'm going to do some good damage with Terra Fire Trevenant, and I do get the burn. So this turn I was like, okay, as long as I stay in, and continuously whittle this thing with Burning Jealousy, they're going to have to go for Headlong Rush versus me, get defense drops on their Great Tusk. I swap in my Alolan Muck, they go for Headlong Rush again as I swap in Slitherwing, and they get 2 defense drops. And then I go for Shadow Sneak and win. But they canceled the battle early. I think they might have had a chance with the Great Tusk in the back. But like I said, that was my plan in the end game. But thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed both of these battles. My name is SkyLaaa. Don't forget to smile, and I will see you all next time.